boxingvoice.com, live here with Deas. So obviously I wanted to ask you, this is going to be a southpaw, and everyone said it. I mean, it's pretty much the narrative of the fight that it's going to be the toughest opposition Wilder has faced, the most dangerous other heavyweight in the division not named Deontay Wilder or Anthony Joshua. What's your overall thoughts? A lot of this is being pointed towards Deontay Wilder and him wanting this fight. How badly did you want this fight?
Oh, I like this fight. I like this fight because we talked about it. Deontay wanted this fight very, very badly. It's a great fight. Ortiz is everything that he's made out to be. He's a tremendous fighter, southpaw, good power, skilled with both hands, good feet. So it's a great challenge from a trainer's perspective, just like it is from a fighter perspective. So we got to be at our best to beat Luis Ortiz, but I feel very confident about the fight.
Now, as a trainer, do you look at this and, because most people have him pegged as one of the most feared heavyweights, but in his last three, he hasn't looked his best. In fact, his best has been versus Brian Jennings, and none of those people are Deontay Wilder. So much criticism about Wilder's opposition, but going down Lewis' resume, I mean, Tony Thompson maybe sticks out, Brian Jennings.
Yeah, he's fought some good people, just like Deontay's fought some good people. You know, he's beat the people that are in front of him, and he's done it in a very good fashion. He's a bit of a monster, but you know, Deontay's a bit of a monster too. So that's what makes it such a great matchup. I think it's going to be a great contest, and we're really looking forward to it. I think the time off that Deontay had, you know, Deontay doesn't like to take a lot of time off. Well, we've been off since February, but on the plus side, Deontay's hands are better than they've been since his career started. It's the healthiest his hands have been. So it's kind of a blessing in disguise that the time off, which we were frustrated with, may turn out to be the best thing.
All right, and when you're thinking of preparation for this, what could Wilder do? How many southpaws has he already faced? Spielka was one. Is there any more on his resume?
I'm gonna say Deontay's probably faced maybe 4.
Oh, so he's familiar.
But a lot of these were on the way up type things, so some of those fights didn't last very long. The true camp that we had against Southpaw was for Spielka, where we had a bunch of guys in, and there's really no way to prepare for a Spielka because he's unorthodox, he's awkward in what he's doing. He's just very unusual and effective at what he does. Ronnie did a great job with him. So Ortiz is a totally different thing. So the guys that, you know, a lot of guys you bring in for Spielka may not be the right guys to bring in for Ortiz. You can't just bring in a guy just because he's a southpaw. There has to be some sort of a look or something they do similar to Ortiz. So that's really what we're looking for. I think that there's a lot of subtleties to what Ortiz does, and you kind of have to maybe unlock, you know, the secret a little bit. He's not just a guy that's coming right at you. He pivots. He does a little drop step with his back foot that's very effective. He counters well. He's effective on the inside, particularly with the uppercuts. He's a well-schooled guy, you know, and I want to give him full credit because I feel like when Deontay beats him, I want Deontay to get full credit, you know, so I'm not one to put down any fighters or whatever. Ortiz is a very good fighter, so we got to be good to beat him. But I'm confident that Deontay is going to get the job done because he's so passionate about this fight.
Are you going to employ Deontay to use his attributes like the height and reach so that Ortiz's uppercut doesn't or can't kind of show up on fight night? If he's not on the inside, right, he really can't use it.
Well, when Deontay's in position, he's very hard to hit. He makes himself very long, and you've got to kind of go through a minefield to get close to him. You're gonna walk through that minefield if you're gonna try to get close to Deontay Wilder. So what we want to do is accentuate our positives and, you know, do what we do, and that's the whole thing. It's really as good as Ortiz is, it's really more about Deontay doing what Deontay does. If we do what we do better than they do what they do, we'll be successful.
Now, being as though you had Deontay in your gym, did that mean that Deontay started camp a little bit early?
He really just did that to help Deontay. Deontay needed sparring. He had an upcoming fight. We had Robert Alfonso helping him out. Deontay wanted to get some work in, so he got 5 rounds with him, or 6 rounds, or whatever it was. And this is when Deontay hadn't even been in the gym, and to be able to come in and do that many rounds straight up, you know, like that was pretty impressive. So, and Deontay got better as the rounds went on even. So all in all, I feel good about where we are. Just starting camp. We've got time. We're going to take it a little bit at a time and just inch our way up to peak at the right time.
Speaking of impressive, something I've always been impressed about Deontay is the fact that he doesn't run and he's able to, you know, be so composed in the ring, never really looks out of breath. I never heard anyone criticize him being gassed out. Now you're saying he's been off since February and he just jumped in the ring with an elite heavyweight. How does he do it? Is it just natural for him or something you're showing him? Because other people want to know. I mean, no one likes to put in miles.
Well, no, and I think to a certain degree, some fighters need to do the road work. Other fighters, really, to be honest with you, it's a little bit of an outdated concept. In Europe, they've gotten away and have for many years now from just going out and jogging, because there's not really much that matches in the ring. What they do in Europe now is they do a lot of soccer, because they're sprinting, slowing down, speeding up, pivots, changes of direction. Your mind has to be thinking the whole time, and you know, you're not necessarily going to get a lot of people to play soccer in the United States, but you can get them to play basketball. Basketball is something Deontay does a lot. It's a lot of the same things, barring any type of an injury, which is always possible in anything you do. Basketball is a much better. Playing 2 hours of basketball is much better than going out and running 2 or 3 miles. Is what I'm saying.
Wow.
Because it's just a different. You're sprinting. You're having to compete. You're having to keep your mental acuity, even when you're tired or tiring, to be able to shoot well and those type things. So it's really what we encourage our guys to do.
Well, Jay, don't want to take any more of your time. I know you guys got to go back to the Bama. Thank you so much, and wish you the best of luck November 4th. Not the 14th, Mr. Wilder.
No, he kept saying he got the 14th.
I know, he's got some date with his kids.
But yeah, but last thing about running, because I'm an avid jogger myself.
Okay.
But I will say, if somebody, you know, with younger fighters, if they're going to do road work like that, you got to mix sprints in with it. We used to do what we call run telephone poles. Jog from one telephone pole to the next, sprint to the next, jog to the next, sprint to the next.
Nice.
So I think it has to be done that way for it to really kind of mimic boxing in some kind of way. I think everything you should do in boxing should mimic what you're doing.
Because the heart rate in the ring goes up and down.
Yes, it does. It does. And so you need to be doing it where it makes sense.
All right. Well, thanks so much.